The verb querer in Spanish means to want and to love, but most of the time it's used as to want. Its syntax is very easy to remember in English because want stays want for 5 pronouns and only adds an s in the he, she, it pronoun. But in Spanish, it has a bit more variety. At first, the pronunciation of to want in Spanish is querer, without needing to pronounce the u inside the word. And this is done on purpose because Spanish takes the same concept from English. In English, any word that starts with q will immediately have a u after it, with most words pronouncing the letter u after q. In Spanish, every word that starts with q will also have a u after it, just like in English. But the u will not be pronounced, which is why querer is pronounced like it only has an e. Querer. Querer is also a stem-changing verb that also falls into the same category as tener, changing its stem from e to ie, in this case, que to quie. As always, the stem-changing rule will only apply in the yo, tu, él, and ellos pronouns. Nosotros and vosotros will not be affected by it, and the ending of all conjugations follows the syntax of verbs ending in er. The pronunciation goes as follows. Yo quiero, I want. Tú quieres, you want. Él, or ella usted, quiere, he wants. Nosotros queremos, we want. Vosotros queréis, y'all want. And ellos quieren, they want. Try not concentrating on these pronouns because the sentences that you can make with them are mainly pointless. With a verb like querer, there's actually one tricky usage that sort of doesn't make sense when you visually start translating it into English, and that is the preposition to. In my 2 previous videos, I talked about the verbs ir and tener, and I mentioned that you need to add the preposition a for ir if you want to say to go to, and que for tener if you want to say to have to. Using the verb to want, in English, I can have a sentence like I want to eat, and visually looking at the sentence, you might think to include some type of preposition for the infinitive in Spanish, like saying yo quiero a comer or yo quiero que comer. But as a matter of fact, you actually don't need to include any prepositions in Spanish. So you'll simply say yo quiero comer, which means I want to eat. This is actually done on purpose, and it's a concept that many people don't even realize when they learn Spanish, and it's something that relates to a form of speech involving the near future. With verbs like to go and to have, you may use these verbs to express simple sentences, but as soon as you add the preposition to, you're now speaking in the near future, meaning that your actions will be done in the future. And so the preposition to, in this case, a with ir and que with tener, will apply to the conjugated verb and not the infinitive. Just like I said in this video and my previous videos, to go to and to have to are different actions and forms of speech. And when you speak in the near future, you will use to go to and to have to with the preposition to that applies to the verb, not the infinitive after it. However, with a verb like querer, you are not speaking in the near future. You are speaking in the present simple. And therefore, yo quiero comer will translate as I want to eat, because comer literally means to eat and not simply eat. Whenever you translate Spanish verbs as infinitives into English, like comer, you will have the word to eat. You will not have eat. You will have to eat. So with a sentence like yo quiero comer, comer literally means to eat. So the phrase will be I want to eat. With phrases like yo voy a comer or yo tengo que comer, visually looking at these phrases, you might translate these phrases as I'm going to eat or I have to eat. Because like I told you, comer means to eat. And so you have the preposition to before the infinitive to. But as I said again, these phrases express actions in the near future, and therefore the preposition to connects with the conjugated verb ir or tener and not with the infinitive in the near future. So in the end, the preposition to is dropped from the infinitive in English because you already have a preposition that connects with the conjugated verb. Sentences like yo voy a comer or yo tengo que comer will simply mean I'm going to eat or I have to eat. So you don't need 2 prepositions of to. With sentences in the present simple like yo quiero comer, you're simply speaking in the present. So you have to add the preposition to for the infinitive because it doesn't make sense to say I want to eat. You instead say I want to eat, which will translate as yo quiero comer because comer means to eat in the present simple with the preposition to. And the same concept applies to any pronouns you want to use with querer. And actually, the verb querer is a very useful verb in Spanish because it's mainly used in questions that are very practical to use. If somebody asks you, ¿Quieres una bebida?, they're literally asking you, do you want a drink? And you can reply with, sí, yo quiero una bebida. Yes, I want a drink. If somebody says, ¿Quieres comprar estos pantalones?, they're asking you, do you want to buy these pants? And as you can see, you have the preposition to in English because the question has an infinitive in the present simple. You can reply with something like, sí, yo quiero comprar estos pantalones. Yes, I do want to buy these pants. Or, no, yo quiero comprar esos pantalones. No, I want to buy those pants in a different place. With more practice and examples, you'll actually be able to generate many sentences that are very useful to ask whenever you decide to speak Spanish, along with understanding what pronouns to use and with who. I could have shown more examples in this video, but I prefer not to because I believe that you can generate any examples that you want on your own. All you have to do is just understand how to ask questions with querer and what sentences to make with them. This has been the verb querer in Spanish. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I made your learning just a bit simpler.